Okay, I get this question all the time. Is being a good poker player a prerequisite for being a good startup investor? Great question. Poker is very analogous to investing in startups because you have partial information. I know my 2 cards. Let's say the flop has come out. I know those 3 cards. I know that it was $200 because it was a $100, $200 game. And to see the flop, it wasn't raised, but you did have to put the $200 blinds in. So I know the 4 players who did see the flop. One of them was the big blind. They were already in for 200. One of them was in for 100, the small blind. They put another 100 in. And then 2 people put $200 in. So they might have had relatively good hands, or maybe they're a little frisky and they want to see a flop, or they like their position. So you're kind of trying to piece together what's happening from the behavior and the information as it unfolds in real time. And then you have a layer of it that's math. So you're placing a bet. Okay, I'm going to place this bet. Well, what is my expected return? And do I have, is it worth me being in the hand? So, I've got 10 jack and, I hit my 10 and the board's ace, queen, jack, and I have 10 jack. Okay, I've got the bottom pair. If a king comes, I hit the straight, but oh my goodness, like ace queen, there's 2 cards, over cards that are better than mine. Somebody could have ace queen, somebody raises, somebody re-raises. And now I'm looking at this information and going, is my bottom pair good and my gut shot straight draw good? Probably not. Probably I don't have the best hand here. What am I playing for? What's the best I'm going to do? In fact, if that king does come and I hit my straight, does somebody else also have a straight? Does somebody have a set right now? Like, you're probably, if you've experienced poker, this is why I think a lot of people should play poker, is because you get to learn in real time to figure out what's happening. And then you have to develop a strategy based on what you're figuring out. So you're not just figuring it out in the abstract. You have to make a strategy, and then you have to place a bet or fold. You either have to commit to the startup or pass. So that is also analogous. You have to decide with this hand. Also analogous. You don't have to win every hand. You don't have to play every hand. You don't have to play every night. You could sit out for a month. You could play every hand. You could place 5 bets in a row. So the betting strategy, also very important. And then, I didn't hit Twitter. I didn't hit Zynga. And I didn't hit Dollar Shave Club. I missed all of those. And I ran into the CEO of Dollar Shave Club of that, and he reminded me of that last night. And we had a funny laugh about it. Because he wanted me to be a seed investor. And I was like, listen, kid, raises will never be anything. Let me give you a piece of advice. Build a software company. And he was like, okay, boomer. That's another $50 million mistake on my part. But I didn't have to win that pot because I won the Uber pot, the Calm pot, the Grin pot, the, Robinhood pot, the Thumbtack pot. Like, that's the point. You can win another pot and do just fine. Then finally, there's something called bankroll management. So you go to a poker game. When I played in LA, there were people at the game who were very intense, like more intense than they should be. And I was like, how is this person in a $10,000 buy-in poker game and it's $100, $200 and they're in for 30, 40 grand? If they lose 30, 40 grand, can they pay this? And I talked to the host and they're like, yeah, the guy's worth 100 grand. And I'm like, guy's got 40% of his net worth on the table? Really? And then, when I play with my friends in Silicon Valley, kind of similar stakes, and that doesn't represent, but, a fraction of 1% of people's net worth. So that is called bankroll management. How much are you willing to put at risk of your total amount of money? Well, that's your fund. So if you have Launch Fund 3 is a $44 million fund. If I'm not putting $44 million in one company, I might put $4 million. That would be a big bet, right? That would be like the biggest bet we make. I might put $1 million into a company, $500K, $250K, but I'm thinking about bankroll management. How do I manage that $44 million to deploy it intelligently over time to get the best return for my investors? So bankroll management, another concept. And then there's reading people. So there's a 4th or 5th way that poker is very similar. And then there's managing your own psychology, which is probably a 6th way that it's like poker. You ever play poker or do any kind of gambling and let's just take roulette. You're betting on black and you go to a table that's got 7 reds in a row because, they show you what the last numbers were. 7 reds in a row. And you bet $500, $500, $500, $500, $500. And 7 more reds come out and it's 14 reds in a row. And you're like, this is statistically not possible. But now you're out of money and you're on tilt. And so you decide to take all your money out of your pocket and put $5,000 on black and it still comes out red. And, then the dealer or some other professional gambler says to you, like, each time that wheel spins, it's still 48-48 or 50-50 or whatever the wheel's odds are to be black or red because there are the green ones too. But anyway, just say it's 50-50. it doesn't matter what happened previously. I mean, we like to think that, but each time it's 50-50. So you have to manage your own psychology. I think that's all I can tell you.